Good morning, everybody, and a happy Saturday morning to you all. We have a lot to cover in this video, but besides the royals, for those of you who are unaware about Mr. Bouzy, he has attacked again. So for those of you who may be behind a little bit, I put some links in the description box so you can see the first video I did on him and then the second video. Then you'll watch to the end of this and you'll see what's going on now. Let's jump in and get there, shall we? Let's go. We're going to start with William and Catherine because Tim Cook, who is the CEO of Apple, put up a tweet saying that he met the Prince and Princess of Wales at Windsor Castle and they had discussions about everything from climate change to mental health and other issues that mean a lot to them. Way to go. Moving on. And of course, a big thank you to Remoulade Sauce for the information on what she was wearing. Moving on. Next up, we have Mike Tyndall, who we know is training prisoners to play rugby against the guards. And in one of his, episodes, he was tucking into a plate of prison food. He stated that while he was nervous, he said that the royal family always made him feel welcome and a part of it. He said that, when he first met Zara, he said, it doesn't stop the fact that you need a job. And it's not that easy to just stop what you're doing and go get another job. But, he said it took him about a year. But, he said everything is fine and dandy. He couldn't be happier. Good for him. Moving on. We're going to move on to Princess Anne. Last week, she went to Harrogate. Now, this place was founded in 1895. They run a shop off of Station Parade, and apparently they do fine linen and they restore antique upholstery that's been damaged, window treatments and furnishings. And with that, Princess Anne talked about the fire at Windsor Castle in 1992. So apparently linens, bathroom towels, upholstery, plasterwork, curtains. Apparently, this store is well known for its quality and its craftsmanship. It had its 125th year anniversary back in 2020. Unfortunately, nobody was able to go by, with COVID and all this stuff going on. Now, the owner said that the visit was, and I'm quoting, truly remarkable, because he said that she was supportive of everything we stand for as a business, especially that sustainability is in the heart of everything that we do. Apparently, Anne told these people that she was aware of their reputation for scrupulous attention to detail, quality, and a profound knowledge of linen. The gentleman that owns it says, we've never been a part of the throwaway society. Yeah, and you know what? I think that says something because we are part of a throwaway society. Nobody seems to think it's okay to fix things. Everybody just wants to throw it out and buy something new. Anyway, I think Anne looks lovely. Moving on. All right, now we're moving on to Prince Edward. We still have stuff going on. He's in Turkey. He apparently went to a reception in honor of the 40th anniversary of the Chevening Scholarship Program in Turkey. That took place on the 27th of September, and he spoke with the participants. And just in case you didn't recognize it, this took place at the British Embassy, and yes, that cake looks delicious. I think Edward's doing a good job on this tour. That's just me. Love the picture. Now, another stop that Edward made, and again, these may not be in the right order, was he went to the mausoleum of Turkish Republican founder Mustafa Kemal Atatürk. I hope I'm saying that correctly. This visit took place on the 27th, and he was with the British ambassador to Ankara, Jill Morris. I love the wreath that they laid. Very nice, very respectful. I have to say that is a very large tomb. Now, of course, while he was there, he had to sign the guest book for the mausoleum. And if I have everything in the right order, again, they may not be. Edward then left for Bahrain, and he met with people from the International Awards Program at the British School in Bahrain, and to celebrate the award success in the kingdom for 30 years. Again, the Duke of Edinburgh Awards. Now, while he was doing all of that, the Duchess of Edinburgh first visited Collingwood College. Their post said that she took part in activities that showcase environmental sustainability initiatives at the college, and she met students who have enjoyed national and international success in debating and car racing. So next up, Sophie went to the, I hope I'm saying this right, Flintham and District Agricultural Society's 101st Plowing Match and Show. Well, that sounds interesting. It took place at Scarrington House in Scarrington. She was given a tour of the showground on a tractor and trailer. She stopped and met a lot of kids, and showgoers. She really seemed to be enjoying herself. Apparently, she was accompanied by Lord Lieutenant of Nottinghamshire, which is Sir George Peace. Looks like it all went well. And of course, we know how she feels about this sort of thing. She loves animals and livestock, etc., etc. Now, this show, the tractor plowing competition, started over 100 years ago and is still going. I think that's pretty cool myself. I love that kind of stuff. You guys know that. A big thank you to Remoulade Sauce again for showing us all the outfits she had on. Gorgeous. All right, next up, I believe it's the same day, it's same outfit. Sophie went to see a charity called NSPCC, and she went to visit a fundraiser, a volunteer named Jenny Farr, who's 90 years old. She's been fundraising for more than 60 years. She started working with this charity as a physiotherapist at Nottingham City Hospital, and she says, I'm not getting ready to stop anytime soon. Good for you, my friend. Keep going. Moving on. Moving on to Harry and Meghan, it looks like Meghan is not the only one with veneers. Looks like Harry has been Hollywood-fied. You guys know what I'm saying. Now, also, these articles are coming out saying that Harry is desperate to return to the UK, but he's being blocked by Meghan. I look at it like that song, The Hotel California. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. Yep. Scary. Okay, moving on. It came out that when Harry and Meghan left Germany, they went off to Portugal. They'd already been gone. He'd already been gone from the kids for an extended period of time. They apparently went to a members-only luxury resort area where Eugenie and Jack were. So people are saying that maybe they went to visit Eugenie and Jack. I'm also questioning how they got there, because when they went to leave, they apparently left on a British Airways flight, but there's no mention about how they got there. So it could be that it was by private jet. Now, the article says that Harry and Meghan didn't want to publicize the getaway through the press or through their social networks. They arrived without their children, which we kind of figured. And the location would have been, they're saying, a invitation from Princess Eugenie, because that's where she and Jack live. You know, they spent 6 months in Portugal, 6 months in the United States. And again, the article says that when they went to leave, they boarded British Airways Flight 501 bound for London Heathrow. But it doesn't say once they got to London Heathrow how they got home or how they got there. And I'm willing to bet, again, that there was a private jet involved. Now, this is a beautiful location, very serene, but something else has cropped up. And that's the fact that they flew 7 times in 14 days. You cannot go on and on about the environment and climate change and then fly all around the world. In a 2-week period, they took 7 flights and went over 19,000 miles, all while lecturing the rest of us. And in other words, it's coming out again. It's rank hypocrisy. Why don't you practice what you preach? Now, with all of that said, I agree with According to Taz. It's really interesting how this kind of stuff always comes out whenever the royal family is done with them. Princess Eugenie is in Portugal and she's invited, Harry and Meghan. And even Taz said she doesn't know if she believes this because she recently was at a pub lunch with friends and they didn't have anything nice to say about Harry or the spare. So every time it comes out that the family's finished with them, something like this drops. Correct. Harry has lectured us 7 separate times that the articles have found where he's told us about the environment. The first time was in 2018 when Harry and Meghan went to Australia. Okay, he said the project was committed to raising awareness on the value of the indigenous forests and saving the future generations, blah, blah, blah. Then in 2018, at Harry's university speech at the South Pacific campus, he again talked about climate change. In 2019, July, they put a statement out that they were going to do their part. And it was a ticking clock to protect the planet. Let's save it. Let's do it. Blah, blah, blah. In 2019, Harry gave a plea as part of Meghan's edition of British Vogue. And once again, he said, we're only going to have 2 children. Yeah. In 2019, he gave a speech on the children's involvement in fighting climate change. And he's, the science led by Greta Thunberg, of all people, was undeniable. And he was there in Botswana to help create a new forest habitat after decades of deforestation. In 2020, he did a support for Water Bear, talking about doing, not talking about tackling environmental issues. And this was back also when people were on him and Meghan about taking all the private jets. In 2022, he gave that failed speech to the empty room in the UN. It was supposed to be a keynote where once again he talked about the dangers of climate change. So once again, he and Meghan are doing the do as I say, not as I do thing. Moving on, I agree with Princess Jamie Royal. One of these 2 women you're looking at was being criticized for not going on lengthy royal tours and cutting back her workload so she could be home with her 3 children because she wants to be present in their lives. And she brought up the fact that Harry and Meghan could have brought Archie and Lily to the Invictus Games. They could have stayed with the nannies when they didn't want them at the games. There's other things that they could have done, but they never take the children anywhere. And remember, Harry attacks his father publicly and says this, they were raised by nannies. The father and Diana were never around. They were never around. And let's not forget that Harry said that he was tortured by the whole James Hewitt is James Hewitt my dad thing. And he basically just did the same thing to Archie with the is Meghan my mother or is it a surrogate thing. He did the exact same thing to his son. You guys know, and I've said it before, karma is a thing. Archie or Lily's going to write a book slamming Harry and Meghan when they get older. You watch. Moving on. All right, next up, this video came out on TikTok, and we know that Harry and Meghan were not doing well. Look how angry. But watch this video. Harry is ignoring Meghan. Nobody's really talking to Meghan. She's looking around. Nobody's paying attention to her. Nobody's talking to her. What's with the opening your shirt thing? She's constantly touching Harry, but Harry is not paying her a lick of attention. It's very obvious that something was going on between them while they were at Invictus, and we'll never probably know what it was. We'll never know what it was. But look at Meghan. Nobody's talking to her. She's being completely ignored. It's very obvious that Harry and Meghan are having issues. Try as might as they try to cover them, it's just not working. Now, before we move on to Bouzy, I had to show these. Thank you to Remoulade Sauce. These are all the times that Meghan copied Diana, and these are all the times that Meghan copied Catherine. All right, let's move on now to Christopher Bouzy.
Hi, everybody. Okay, here we go. So, first of all, for those of you who are new, you may not be aware about the history that I have with Christopher Bouzy. So I put 2 links in the description box. The first link is the very first video I ever did on him. The second video was his response to what happened, his response to my first video. Okay, you just have to go back and watch it so you have a complete understanding of what's going on.
Now we're going to start talking about Mr. Bouzy today because he went on the attack again on Twitter. I was bitten by some fire ants. Well, not some, a lot. And he attacked on Twitter. Here it is above.
So the first thing that's pretty obvious is that Mr. Bouzy doesn't bother the YouTubers who have a little bit of extra melanin in their skin. It's only the people he calls the white women that he seems to want to harass and bother. Now, I'm saying that because do you guys know Leilani of Barbados? She's fabulous. She said this.
So, okay, wait. So she says, this is a moment for me. She says in the video that she was looking at him.
I kept looking at this picture going, who does he look like? Why does he look so familiar?
Me, teacher, me, choose me. I have the answer.
Familiar. And then it struck me. Shrek, he looks like Shrek.
He looks like a monkey. I'm going to keep it real. And don't even start with the racism foolishness with me, because I am not the one. Furthermore, this Christopher Bouzy can be very racist when he's ready. He says in this tweet about Sue Smith again, he says, this unhinged YouTuber thinks Samantha Markle's dismissed defamation case is going to discovery, and Nate the lawyer will be called as a witness to blow the lid off my bot network, quote unquote. The only lid Nate the lawyer will be blowing off is the lid to his KFC bucket. So you know that whole thing. The chicken and the black people, the KFC. So please don't come for me. Okay, I'm obviously good. But I'm also just stating the facts. The man has a face of a monkey and acts like a banshee. So,
and not a word came out of Christopher Bouzy's mouth. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put a link to her video about that incident also in the description box, because she talks about the kind of typecast that Christopher Bouzy is, which I think she's absolutely 100% on par with it. Now, here's a little bit that I want to really bring out. He says here that I've talked about the children. I've never talked about those kids. I've never said they don't exist. I've never said anything about the children. I've never seen the children except in, a few shots here and there. The only thing I've said at this point is I'm not really interested in seeing the children. But Bouzy said I said, mean things about the kids. I dare any Sussex Squad member to go through my videos and find anything negative that I've said about those children. You won't find it, because that's not the way I operate. But Bouzy says it, so you guys have to believe it, right? Because that's how he operates. It doesn't really matter what I say. You guys argue about, I show proof to you, and then you turn and say something else because you guys aren't able to think independently. It's whatever you're told, which makes me wonder actually about the age of the people that Bouzy has following him, because people that are mature 30s, 40s, 50s, that are well educated and that are able to reason are usually able to figure out pretty quickly that he's full of crap. Like, seriously. Now, also, it's very obvious that Mr. Bouzy has a thing about feet and cleanliness. I don't know if this is a thing from his childhood, if it has something to do with his mother, his wife. Like, I have no clue. He's always talking about unwashed, feet, unwashed, white women, unwashed. We've already discussed the fact that he obviously has a very, very big inferiority complex, and he hates women, essentially, especially women that he deems unattainable. Again, from Leilani of Barbados' video. It's fabulous. By the way, Bouzy, I want my check, because you don't get to put, you obviously have a foot fetish thing going on, and you don't get to just talk about my feet and not pay me. So check, baby. He likes to put people down. He talks about when I sold my home and I moved into my new home, which is actually a little bit bigger than the house we just sold, he said I was downgrading, and he lives in a $1.1 million home, condo. What he forgot to mention is he doesn't own it. He's renting. So let's discuss some other stuff. Okay. First of all, he's put my name out again, but I hate to tell you this, but once you've already put out my name, my age, my state, my profession, what my husband, you've already spilled everything. My name is Leslie Sue Schmidt, but make sure you put that in your next, little blurb about me. But I go by Sue, just like Rachel Meghan Markle goes by Megan. But apparently that's allowed, but I'm not supposed to go by my middle name.
Now, he then attacks this woman above who stepped up to defend me. Thank you very much. And he says, well, I'm willing to bet she thinks she had a chance to marry Harry.
Well, I can certainly see from these pictures why we would all want to marry Harry. I think that the only person who wanted to marry Harry was Megan, because the other women that he dated wanted nothing to do with him, because after a couple of years with him, they realized he was weak-minded and paranoid and on drugs and had a drinking issue. But Megan was willing to take all of that because she planned on using it to her own advantage. That's my personal opinion, and I'm entitled to it.
Now, this is the picture that started the whole thing. As you could see, I was attacked by fire ants. My whole leg is red. You can see all the different bites. And so I put my leg up on the bed and I took a picture and I put it up on, Twitter.
Bouzy put that my foot was on a dirty mattress on the floor. And then everybody else went, look at that. It's on the floor. Do you guys not have eyes? Not only is that bed not on the floor, that's like a $2,500 bed frame, but Bouzy couldn't recognize it because he probably doesn't have expensive furniture in his house. And I don't have the nicest comforter on the bed at that time because the animals are on the bed. You guys all know I have rescue animals. I'm a big rescue animal lover. And I allow my rescue animals in the house on my bed. Well, right now, Finn can't get on there. You guys know all about that.
Now, remember, you guys, this is supposed to be the CEO of a tech company. Look what he's writing. This is the kind of stuff he puts up. Well, let me tell you, a lot of people on Twitter had a lot of things to say about him, and none of them were nice. Like, everybody has his number because he pulls the same stuff out of his hat over and over and over again. And I will say this, I don't like to body shame or talk about people, but this is the truth. These are unfiltered pictures of him. And when you look like this, you should not be making fun of the way anybody looks. Especially when this is how you look. It's a joke. Okay, now here's some other interesting information. So somebody on Twitter put this up and basically tagged this Phil Schneider person. And I said, who is this? Can you believe that this person you're about to see is associated with Christopher Bouzy? Apparently he's the CFO of the company. I doubt he's aware of what he's like. And then this came up. He's having a Zoom something on internet security and, bullying and all this kind of stuff on the internet. This is the person he's doing it with. I doubt she's aware of what he's like either.
So now, guys, I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. You have to feel sorry for this man. He lives in his kitchen on a laptop. He never leaves his house. He hides in there from process servers. Like, I think the last time he was hiding, I was in Hawaii. Was it last year already? I was in Hawaii. And in a few weeks, I'm going to be in Rome. And he'll still be in his kitchen. And a few months after that, we have a cruise planned. And he'll still be in his kitchen. He needs some prayer. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. I pray for this man. I'm serious. You guys need to send up some prayers for him because he needs something. I don't know what. And obviously it's more than I can do, but it's not more than God can do. So throw up some prayers for him.
One more little thing. I want to say a thank you to Christopher Bouzy as well, because every single time you attack me, my numbers go through the roof. Thank you. Anyway, for those who want an update, here's what my leg looks like now with the calamine lotion all over it. I am feeling better. The bites are going down, so you guys don't worry. All is well here. All right, you guys know what to do. And if you donated to my coffee fund or through the thanks button, thank you so much.